Peace and blessings, family. This is your brother asarimhotep with the Madu Ndela Institute for the Advancement of Science and Culture and the Martin Delaney Center for Egyptology. This is the Mbongi, and today we have a very, very, very special guest with us, Dr. Dou Kaya, um, out of Cameroon, who I think is in Paris as we speak, and with the African Institute of Egyptology. We are going to talk about his life, the work he is doing, any publications, and future plans for the institute. So all of that and more when we return. Thank you. Thank you. We are back and we are live with our special guest who is in the waiting room. But before we go there, just a quick announcement. Of course, just want to remind the viewers that there is a Patreon page, and you can support this channel by going to patreon.com/asarimhotep and consider joining one of our tiers. And there's different levels and ways in which you can support. And there are certain gifts and privileges for supporting at certain levels. So you can find out more if you visit that link. And also, you will be helping in the development of the Chiena Into documentary film that we'll be working on starting this year, 2021. And so you will get behind the scenes action and also some early and exclusive interviews, uh, such as what is being done right now for our Patreon members, and a host of other things that we will reveal in the near future. So again, you can go to patreon.com/asarimhotep, and you can also make a one-time donation by going to the asarimhotep.com webpage. And so, when you go to the asarimhotep.com webpage, on the homepage, there is a donation option, or you can do Cash App at $asarimhotep. And, believe me, every, bit counts. And we pour this right back into the channel and the community and access to documents and things that you can get, freely by going to the website. So I want to thank all of our people who have supported and the people who are considering supporting. And so, hopefully it's programs like this that would inspire you and see the need for such a channel that you be compelled to support us financially, as well as your presence. And so you can also support by simply liking the video and sharing its contents. So please hit the like and share buttons. And if you are not a subscriber to this channel, I encourage you to do just that and make sure that you hit the bell so that when I upload a new video, you will be the first to know and you can partake in all of this awesomeness, which is the Mbongi. So with that said, we have with us Dr. Dou Kaya, who is an Egyptologist and teacher of the Sesh Meta writing script in Africa and in Paris. And so we're going to dig into his life, and we're going to dig into his motivations and scholarships, and really see what the African School of Egyptologists are doing and how they're changing the game on how we study African history as a whole and ancient Egypt in particular. So without further ado, I welcome Dr. Kaya to the program. Peace and blessings, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, Otep, thank you very much to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to African people, Black people who they have this idea to build this kind of channel to help the African culture, to help the African mentality to grow out. So thank you very much for your work.
The honor is all mine. The honor is all mine. I've been wanting to uh, converse with you for a very long time. I came across your website some years ago. I don't remember what I was researching, but when I started to do a Google search on whatever it is I was researching, your site came up, and it was a few blog posts on the Meta, and you was teaching a course on how to learn, the Egyptian language and how to write the hieroglyphs and some other things. Uh, I see you're still doing it, and I know you're doing big things. You know where you are, so I wanted the world to be introduced to you, and of course a lot of African scholars from across the world, and so. Oh, it looks like we lost him. He's coming back. There he goes.
Well,
All
one
right.
moment, somebody call me. One moment.
Uh, there we go. Oh, okay. Uh,
Okay,
so
just going. Sorry.
yes. No, you're good. You're good. Um, so yes, I want to start off. Just asking a little bit about your life in history, and can you tell us a bit of where you're from, and ethnic background and education. Where did you study and things and the like.
Okay, yes, so, yes, born in Cameroon, in Africa, Douala. This is near Nigeria country. We speak both languages, English and French, but myself, I've been French areas. I
Mm,
went to grow up in a school in Cameroon before I got to Paris to learn, to continue my study there. Job, and also this effervescence will come that time, and we begin to work with job. So I changed my, because I want to be engineering, but I changed my
mm,
work. I begin to be and go to focus on Egyptologists. So I was
mm,
University of Paris. After I make Sorbonne, I make Louvre School, and by that when we meet Diop and Obenga, we change our areas. So we
mm,
begin to build our school. So when we meet Diop, we have a programming. We have programming to make for African school, and so. But when you went to Cameroon, after that, the last conference, he died. So that was very,
mm,
very, very bad for us because all our program was done.
mm. Hello, you there? It seemed like you may have been frozen. Are you?
Because this book was the book we had to work together. But so then,
Okay.
and he give us his last interview. And after we make the second one, he's here.
Okay.
Or this was
Are
a
you there?
critical. Yeah.
Okay. No,
Yes.
it seems like you were going in and out. So there was a little bit of it that we missed in terms of what you were saying. Um, and uh, are you there? Okay. So if you can kind of repeat what you just said, and then kind of go from there.
Okay. Yes. I saw that
Yes.
we meet Cheikh Anta Diop in Paris. Is
Yes.
there we have a programming to make school to make research in Dakar. But when he went to Cameroon, he went to Yaoundé. After his last conference there, he's died. So
Uh,
when he's died, we continue to make his work. And that book I show you is the last. He give us his last conference there. We have his last interview.
mm,
Anyway, so we begin to start in Paris. Myself, I came to London also many times, especially with Kana House. I have to say
yes.
hello to him because he was the first or the second who is invited us to come to give some lectures in London. So we
Mm,
came to London many times. We begin to make African studies in London. To how what is exactly our affair is we want to make Egyptologists, we want to make Medunete became our writing system.
mm,
This is our fear because any any people in the world have the writing system. It's not. It's very something we make with a job. When he said to us, we go inside. Is in terms of scientifically. It's not term only for culture.
mm,
Any any people in the world they have their right system. French they have their system. Europeans, but especially with it's come from that is from European system is based by two system. Um, we have Chinese, they have their systems. Arab, they have their systems. But what about African systems?
mm,
But when Diop made this conference in 1972, under was in care before the great all the scientific Egyptology scientific was there. It's proved that
mm,
scientifically is that what is proved that the language who's writing in Medunete on the wall of pyramids is an African language.
mm,
It proved that. That was in 1972. And one French man, they call Sonoran, Professor Sonoran, said, yeah, that is true. Because until now, we never see this kind of apport between languages and Medunete. So now we have to focus, maybe you have to focus to serious with Dogon. We have to focus in there. Myself, my professor in Collège de France, tell me that that is true. This language is African language. So
mm,
between that time, we stop that. Our links, our ring is that what? To come back, to give back African people their languages.
mm,
African people their writing system. It's not something who's there. So to do that, we need people. We need professor. We need something. We need people who have that. That's all now. I come back to Africa, to Cameroon, and begin now to lot of and what is very funny, quickly they write they keep that quickly, they know about. And
mm,
I tell you the last time, They have not lot of African language. No, they have one language, Africa. Obenga called that the modern African modern language. Example, all African people to do where you live, they say what you sit. If you want to say go before, they say go to the face. They have many things of like that, and it's exactly the writing in Medunete.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that I cannot say that everything behind the Medunete have a two system. They have a sound system we call phonogram, phonetics by the sound. They have ideas used by Chinese. What is it called ideas system? If you go to the toilet, we have two possibility. One possibility is I write men, MEMNN, or woman, or I put the picture of woman or the picture of man. This picture of a woman or this picture of man is a writing. So I can write to you, I can give you information by writing system. And African people, 300,000 years before Christ, they know about our systems. So for us, it's very easy. I can write in my language. You are Caribbeans. You can write that. Because what is happening, I tell you that the next time. It's not, I give you that. But the Caribbeans, Creole, and is African language. What it changed, they lost the vocabulary. But the
Yeah.
syntax, the meaning is the same. If they say that in Creole, where you live, they say what you sit.
Yeah.
And the Creole and is more, the Creole is more near Medunete, more than some African language, because African language you have to change. You have to be able to call developing. But the Creole word fossilizing. So they keep the same things. So is near Medunete more than some African language. It's terrible. What I tell you that. That is true. So you know this richest thing we have?
Yeah.
You
The
know what
language.
this thing we have? So that is by 20 years. All my focus is to build the professor of Medunete. We did that about 3 months, 6 months. We have exactly did like you see now there's Arab, they have the young writing system.
Yes.
If you go into the Jude, they have the RC system, but we have also our system. They have to job told us this thing. They have two things happen to Africa. First thing is the human born man, the human body, the human man born in Africa. In the beginning, they have to deny that. They say they have four sources. They have African, European, Asian, but that is not true. The man is one, is an African man. The second thing is happening in Africa is what on the Greek civilization people never did is Egyptology. How they build pyramids, how they stand, how they do that, how they did that. Nobody don't know. We know that about that. To see that people they put in slavery is them, they build this kind of civilization is impossible. We got to destroy that. So they destroy the nose, they destroy other things, foolish things. But by Napoleon's begin to change the things, everything will be changed. Because they don't want that the people they put in slavery is them they bring the civilization in the human body. Is there the human man born in Africa, and African man the great civilization nobody know where it come from. So you understand me now.
Understood.
So that is very simple. For
I,
us, we want back African writing system. And it's possible. And it is
Indeed, and
possible.
there
Yes,
seems to be
okay.
a number of African people working on that across
Yes.
the world right now. Now, you mentioned that met Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop on occasion. How was he like? What how was his study? What do you know about him from meeting him personally versus what we would read in a book about him?
Yeah, Jeb tell us is don't in the beginning he didn't want to really focus in Egyptology.
Mm,
One in the class 6 college French system, he begin to learn Egyptology, Egyptian lesson. But he
mm,
was very surprised that everything's the looking, the clothes, everything is look like in a village. He said, but what thing is very, I want to go focus that. He come in Paris, he was a physician.
yeah.
Technology is not, it's good, but sometimes it's like I had tell you, go to look there. You go to the College of France, you need to find out. He said, what? But this is African language. But this is my village. He see the closest, he see the things. Yeah, he said, no, that is impossible. He said, no, that is impossible. So you have a two focus. One
Mhm,
physician and one Egyptologist.
mm,
You see that. But Egyptologists can't take him on because he's very stronger. But it's also that begins the problem. Everybody begin to find and to caution him, to against him, to against him, to against him. Everybody gets him. No, it's impossible, and they begin to put in problem. And after I go back to Dakar, when it comes to Dakar, it begin the person that Senghor was a president there. He begin to have a
mhm,
problem, but he didn't to make. He make the first and the second one. They have a two laboratory, or they call them carbon 14. They have a two carbon 14 laboratory, one in Johannesburg and one in Dakar.
mm,
But we think they kill him because why? Is what I tell you that is information come from one journalist from London, BBC. Because what time they give to apartheid system how to make a atomic bomb,
mm,
and they know that Nigeria come to see him to make, so we please let us also have this uh, bomb. But what they think that they say if they come to see Job, is going to do that because
mm,
with laboratory 14 carbon, it's possible to begin to build little bit to come to bomb.
mm,
And how Job died, because I was there, I visited in laboratory. We have to really we do many things to do together. But one day they tell us he's died. But anyway, but it's very late because many African people take now the reality. You know the reality. I know the reality. So it's cannot be stopped. It's finished now. Huh? This Pan-Africanism is not just for intellectual. It's going also to be reality in terms really to a big country. Like
mhm,
Marcus Garvey say, every done two way. It's possible. But it's not, for me, I'm very laugh because in Kemet history, we call that intermediary times period. Intermediary period.
or the
Three times
intermediate
in
period.
our history, we're going to lose, but we're going to come back.
Mm,
Do you know the people who they build these pyramids? They fall down,
mhm,
the pyramid will go be spoiled, but they came back.
yeah.
They was being invited by Ixos, but they came back. So we have to, they take us to the slavery, but we came back.
Mhm,
But we know how to come back. I know.
mhm,
Very easily. We know how to come back. We just read, you just learn our history. We know how to come back because we did that 3 times.
mhm.
You see.
Exactly.
So okay, this is our focus. So Job give us many very energy. Job and Obenga, and also this brother of America who they did very good time. And I'll tell you that Kana House do many things. It was the first to bring us in London. This is
mm,
by 20 years ago. So when we meet together, we do very big things. Yeah, sorry.
mm. Yes. Okay. My next question is, what do what is the biggest misconception about the Meta Nature, the hieroglyphic script in language that general Egyptologists miss because they are not connected to African languages?
Because yes, they told me that very very rarely you see the hieroglyphics texts be very using in school, like they use Greek, or they use yeah, especially Greek, because they don't understand really what is near that word. Because mom, I'm Frenchman, he have to translate English poetry. It's going to be difficult
Hmm,
because in Basa it's not a problem of word, it's a problem of constellation. A problem, what do you mean? What is his backside there? My
hmm,
professor, if we don't understand really the pyramid text, what he needs. We translate it. We know what is they say, but we don't understand exactly what is that. What he talk about what? You
hmm,
see? So imagine that one times African people take that back for they understand because it's their view of life. It's like a view of life. You know what has happened to the European when they came back? European
yeah.
would destroy when Rome was be destroyed, and they said to back we call age, dark age. Remember dark age? European
Yes, the
was in
Dark
dark
Ages.
age. They have
Yes.
nothing again. They lost everything there. The king, he was the master of everything. But until the Arabs conquered them again, is that they begin to learn Arab writing. Yeah, they say, well, so ah, so is us we did this kind of civilization, Pythagoras, among they begin to learn about that.
Hmm,
And 10 years, 1 second, they move back Arab and they take the place. But what they did, we call that for us. They just talk canon. They just because nothing is news. They don't learn exactly what did Greek and Rome in terms of academically, architecture, and then medicine, in terms of politics organization, Republica, Sena. All things is come from where? It's come from Greek. It come from Greek and Rome. They never
hmm,
invent nothing. And in 1 second they move back. Arab and they take their place. Why? How now the Chinese is strong? Chinese they don't use. they just use. They just use their ancestor. That's all. They
hmm,
have two people. Okay, they have two people they use. So imagine that African people use now our canon,
hmm,
Kemetic canon in medicine, in all organization, social organization like they did Chinese, like they did Ruslan. Everybody did like the civilization they did in terms of materialize the environment. It was good and great. We're going to build again this great civilization people never see before. Chinese, the word is Confucius. That's all. They have nothing new. Is a Confucius. and Mao Zedong. They have not. What you see in Chinese there is a Confucius. When you see European, there are two things: Greek and Rome. That's all. There was not anything else. And we, who we are,
Mhm. Mhm.
who we are. Our ancestors write many things in their languages, in the wall of pyramids. Wait for us. European can't read that, but you can understand because they have a view of a world view. Is that our mission? To make you come back, to read. If you read exactly Medunete, I tell you 3 months, 6 months, you got to know what you're going to be in terms of medicine, in terms of architecture, in terms of all the social organization. We go back again. Exactly what the European did. Look, America.
Mhm.
They built the sanatorium. What they did, the Greek and Rome. See Chinese. I come back again. No, brother and sister. So that is
Mhm.
very important. They then understand really what is happening to them when they read Medunete. Only Freemason, yeah, Freemason, they use that. Some kind of secret organization, they use that. But
Mhm.
in general, they don't understand that because it's not from their culture. Yes.
And I want to get back to that, and because when you came on when we had Dr. Sakana on, it was in the context of the secret societies. But I want to get back to that a little later. But I want to ask you about some prominent Cameroonian Egyptology scholars, and and if you can tell us about them, if you know about them. So first uh, person. Hold on. I think we may have lost him. There we go. He's back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Uh,
Sorry. Say that
no, no
again.
problem. Okay. Yes. So I was going to ask you about a few Cameroonian scholars, Egyptology, and I want you to kind of tell us about them if you're familiar with who they are in their scholarship. So Gilbert Ngong, are you familiar with him? If I'm even
Who?
saying that right,
Who?
Gilbert Ngong or Ngom.
Ngong. Maybe I know him, but in terms of pronunciation, anyway. So,
All right. What about Om Ndiji?
who?
Om Ndiji or Ndigi. I may be pronouncing
Umdidi.
it
Yeah,
different.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know him. Yeah, Umdidi. Yes, yes.
Um, could you say a little bit about him and what you know about his work?
Yes, Umdigi is very interesting. His focus about his language, but his town, they call Bassa people.
Hmm.
So he make the tradition between Bassa and Medunete. Yeah.
Hmm.
So they've a very, very good teaching. Yeah. He live now in Yaoundé, but maybe I don't know if he's finished his work. But I know he's make very good work. But that his work, he focus more about Bassa people and Medunete.
All right. Because I think Ngom, who I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to find
You
his
say Engong,
article.
Engong? What do you call that?
Ngom, because he did some work um, on Douala and ancient Egyptian,
Engong.
and
Um,
Ngom, Gilbert Ngom. So I don't know if he goes by another name, but
yes.
Gilbert Ngom, l'Égyptien, les langues bantu, les cas du Douala. if you are familiar with that text.
This is very interesting. I would like to see that.
Yes,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I will. I think I have that article. I will send it to you.
Yeah, we have also Prince Dika Akwa. Prince
Okay.
Dika Akwa Nyabonambela. He used to make very good work. He was a prince. Now he's died. And he built a famous house, like a Kemet house, very good. Uh,
Uh,
no, they have a couple working people where who they work that way. I tell you, yeah. And
um,
begin more and more now.
um, I'm not sure, and I haven't been able to find anyone uh, who can find this person. But I think his name is Emmanuel Bitong.
Emmanuel
Are you
Biton,
familiar with him? Emmanuel Bitong out of Cameroon.
Emmanuel
I don't know
Biton.
where in Cameroon though.
I go to look about the
Uh,
same Emmanuel Biton. I go to look about. I go to ask here because my friend near me there.
yes,
I go to see about that. Yeah.
uh, he did his uh,
What is
PhD in
profession?
Egyptology, and
Okay.
I know he did it under Indigi, Omendigi, Pierre Omendigi,
Home Digi. Home Digi.
Omdigi. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I understand
Um,
that. Yes, okay, I understand.
so I don't know if he's Bassa himself or if he's belonging to another ethnic group. Um,
No,
but he let me see. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find this article. Well, his PhD dissertation.
okay.
So, all right, manager. Oop, manager. Um, no, I'll see if I can find it later. I can't find it right now. But yeah, I just wanted to let the audience know that there's a number of Metanetra teachers and scholars that come out of Cameroon, and that's one of the centers for African Egyptology in terms of as Africa is concerned. It's the Dakar and Cameroon as being the two hubs for me, in looking at a lot of the francophone scholarship, coming out of Africa, primarily comes out of those two areas.
Yeah.
Um, but I want to ask now. You mentioned earlier that when you look, or when Cheikh Anta Diop, was in Paris and he's got interested in Egypt, that he saw aspects of Egyptian culture in his own native uh, language and culture and community. So I want to ask you, when you look at the writings, what and the stories and the culture of the people, what do you see that directly is reflected or found in your native culture, growing up and things of that nature?
Uh, so that is, I'm telling you, that is incredible. Is incredible. Do you know that Egyptians never die?
Hmm.
Yeah, they never die. Everything we did and everything we do is come from Egypt because we didn't even know anything else.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't need it. We have this change that we nobody invited. Lot of us, nobody were invited by Christian, by foreigner, like in Europe. Okay,
Hmm.
we was colonized. they take slavery, but we never be invited. So we keep that circle. That roots was keeping there in terms of marry, in terms of when you die, in terms of how you build your house, in terms of how your clothes, in terms of is incredible.
mm,
We call that survivance of Egypt in Africa.
mm,
Everything you see in Africa is a survivor. Maybe bad, maybe they change, but the roots is from Egypt because we don't know anything else.
mm,
Yeah, when the people come from, they moved there. This is 300 years ago, man. Is the Baka people, pygmies, help us to survive in the forest.
mm,
It's Baka people who help us to survive in the forest. We didn't even know how to survive that there. You see,
mm.
and
Yes.
but any other things we did, I'm telling you that is from Kemet.
Mm,
So that every time when I go to a village or somewhere, I just shut my mouth and I begin to focus what is happening. As I look about, and if I saw this mask, oh, this is stot, this is elephant, this is Horus, this is incredible, my friends.
mm,
When you know Egypt and we come there, you go to cry. You say it's impossible. And what has happened to me one day, my friend who lost his uncle, so he want to make some prayer. They tell him make some prayer. So you go to the book of the life and you take some prayer there. And after the don't he begin to read that, and he finish. When he finish, all the whole people, whole men who there was there in the God, they begin to see us like something there. And one move to come, hey, come here. Who tell you that thing? Where you learn this? We send you to French, but who tell you this? What you read there? You see,
mm.
would show you that read there. They're very surprised us to be able to read what we see because is closer them. It's a secret society for them. So
Mm.
how we know about that? We even tell that we run that in the book of Egyptology book. But for us, we understand. Hey, don't so these people. So the book we have in the hand is very deep, something very deep there. I'm telling you, though, so what I look about my area is incredible.
Mm.
I'm telling you that is incredible. It's Egyptology. Some people who they continue to keep the culture, they don't know what is happening. They just keep it like that,
Mm.
you know. But they don't
Yeah.
know. They don't focus about where they come from. They just keep that like that, like a museum.
Yeah.
Uh, so that make us what Job say is a small thing. But Job have no time to spell and to tell us what is happened there. I'm telling you
Mm.
that. But Arab and Christianity, there came some time to modify some views or like that. But
Yeah.
the true philosophy is from us also. Sometimes we turn it to us, and to finish that. Yes. So to finish that, I'm telling you that the survivance of
Mm.
survive of Egyptology, of Egyptian, still be in Africa today.
Mm. Now, you mentioned before when we had this discussion on the secret society, um, and you mentioned or we mentioned Obenga. What is your relationship to Obenga, and how is his connection to those indigenous societies inform his scholarship, or how should I say, uh, how does it influence his scholarship?
I have a very, very good relationship with Obenga. He came to visit us in Cameroon by last year. He make very good job. What is all his book is to collect many informations. He collect information for the researcher. He make a lot of collections. Himself, he have this idea to continue to build this African skull, because he tried to build, but now he's very old now. But
Mm,
he continued to make very, 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 very good work. And maybe one day, or I'm going to give you his contact. Maybe by so you're going to phone him. Maybe he's going to be back with you too. But I'm
yeah.
telling you that he's collect lot of very, very, very information. So you can
Mm,
live in Africa and you have a many information, good information to your research. He give
I
many things
appreciate
in terms of philosophy. He give many things in terms of technology. He give many things about, oh no, very, very good job. Very, very, very good job. Yeah, very, 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 very good job. So we still be in contact. We have not
it.
much, if we have much power, we got to invite you and him to come to make conference in Africa. But
Mm,
that is all the problem is that if we are very stronger, because people like you, people like him, you have to come, people see you.
mm,
When you get back, I think all the country follow you. So
mm.
that is our, yes, so that is our view, to continue to collect, to continue to work together. So
Indeed, indeed. I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, so you teach the meta nature and hieroglyphs. How What have you learned more about the language? Well, it's a two-part question. So what do you know, or what have you learned about the language more as a result of teaching it than just studying it yourself? And then how quick do the African students pick up on it? Like, the way that you teach.
okay. Well, I begin just, I'm going, when I come to Paris, I don't believe many things there. I'm going to, I'll tell you that first. In Sorbonne, I'm going to Louvre. Louvre have a school. Is
Uh-huh.
there I performing myself about hieroglyphics, and after also I go to the College of France to make philosophy. So is that I want to learn really, really epigraphia. I learn epigraphia to know what has happened. So about that, it make me come strongly to know how the European did. So when I came back now to Africa and I meet Obenga, I meet Diop, and then we begin to, we call that epistemologic writing rupture. We make what we call epistemology rupture. So we begin to learn by the what you mean about this, what you mean by that. The science is very easy. Myself, I'm telling you that I'm very surprised at what I saw the European people you're studying, they make 1 year, 2 years to learn to materialize Medunete. When I came to Africa, 3 months, 6 months, this guy begin to write. That's very, very simple. I'm telling you that I have a lot of now they read. Some they begin to, yeah, some lot of, if you see Omutunde, there was on my school. It's very easy for us. For me, I can make you 3 months, 6 months. 3 months you materialize beside you. 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, you can begin to write. And after we begin to write, now you're going focus to the inside the texts. You could have a lot of texts. You have to be back because it's a lot of work. We need more work. We need professor. We need a researcher because a lot of work. We have to be back like exactly like a Europe and they did with the Greek. Because a lot of things people they don't, and we have to give a new transliteration about all this book. It's right, but they have no meaning there inside. They have not the culture meaning there inside. So we have to go back there. But for that, we need people. Myself, I know that. So what it means? It doesn't mean nothing. If I'm alone to learn that, it doesn't mean nothing. Every African man have to know that. You go to see what is going to happen. Because it's our language. And so we go focus what you like you, a musician. You go to inside a musician. What you like that? I like music. You go inside there. You go to the temple. Every temple of each things you do. That we need that. All that. For us, debate is finished. For us, everything no. Now we go to focus the work. It's not just again, African people is Egyptian. No, that finished that. Is what you do by that. What is your focus? You are a musician. Do you know this woman who make this app? She see like that. She make this. You are your architecture. You know he build like that. You are medicine. You are professor. If you want to go now, people like more about focus about philosophy and secret society. But I'm telling you, very stronger. When I begin to be students, I'm telling you, I was to Burkina Faso. Somebody want to see me, even if afraid about me. I tell what happened. He say everything I call Egyptian jetty, they don't answer. I prefer to use the Bible or two like that. I'm very serious. I said, what you see? I said, yes, because I'm in the beginning, and I tell you, what it will mean that? You know what you tell me? He's telling me because this jetty, they have a God. Human man human man can use them. You can't what do you call it? They can't tell something. You have to surprise them. You see that? This guy was, I don't know about that, but he began to tell me that. He said, if you go to Bible, you can't take some GT in Bible, tell him go to do that. He's going to do. But in Kemet, he can't do that because he's a God. Human body, you can't tell him something. You see that?
Yeah.
He's a God. So it's you tell you something. It's not you tell him something.
Yeah.
You know, but by that, just to tell you how level people who they want to go inside the philosophy of a secret society, they have to rebuild. So Egypt is open for us. It's just going inside. So that we need. Seriously. It's not again, but the debate is finished. Go that seriously. You go to see what is happening, my friend. I can't speak everything here, but you go to see what is happening.
Well, are you planning on writing any books anytime soon?
Yeah, I have 2 books going there. Maybe I want one book they call African Architecture.
Okay.
We need some help there because we want to. It's finished, but we need to for implementary. And myself, I have 2 books in Medunete grammar, French and English. So if they were, I ask Kanak House if they can take the English version. I'll send you some part of English version, the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have that for good distribution, good selling, and also to help so to make this Egyptian, we call that African um, architecture between
Okay.
Kemet to now, where this is the two things we
Hmm.
have to do in this year.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I look forward to that. And yeah, it's a lot of work. I love the work that comes out of Cameroon, and
Yeah,
y'all are doing amazing things out there. And um, lastly, before we kind of wrap up here, um, what are your goals in terms of uh, the Egyptology, or I should say, what can we learn from ancient Egypt? You mentioned earlier that we've been through three intermediate periods in ancient Kemet. So, what can we learn from ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, that is applicable for us today that we can use practically to regain our power?
but is that we have to do? We call that canon. We
Hmm,
have to learn how they make everything before. They call that classical studies.
hmm,
That's all. We make classical studies. How they built the Egyptian, they built the architecture, how they build the medicine, how they do everything we call that. And after we applicable today,
hmm,
the problem for us is what? Because we don't know. So we go to the Europeans, we go to the Chinese, we don't know about.
hmm.
We have to know how ancestors did. They call that the classical studies. Why the European they're stronger? Because they know if they say republic, republica, or they say Sena or vote, is from where? In medicine, before you have medicine, you have apocat. You have to sign apocat. Everything they learn, every word they're writing, they call, oh, this word is from this from Kemet. They say that from Greek. They say that. That means like that. It's the same the Chinese did. They eat what? They close like what? If the problem is the material environment, we live like
uh, Look like you froze on us. If you are truly frozen but can hear me, uh, log out and come back in, and I'll just put me on full screen until he comes back. Uh, so, for those of you who are, just coming on, we are here with Dr. Dou Kaya out of Cameroon, of the Douala people. And he's currently living in Paris. And we're talking about, ancient Egypt, the meta nature, the culture. And I just asked him a question about what can we learn from ancient Egypt that is applicable for us today. And he essentially is stating that we need to learn, as part of our classical studies, how the ancient Egyptians did what they do. Because in that, you learn how to build industry. And from the building of industry, you essentially build up your power base. And so we don't have to go outside of ourselves to solve our problems on the continent. And so this is essentially what the study of ancient Egypt does. And so, he also mentioned that essentially, when it comes to the Europeans, they're grounded in their history and they record and learn and always reference, and they do their own version of what we call saying kofa. They go back and fetch what is useful and update it for the times. And this is essentially, what we need to do, but not simply for the sake that we can wear African garments and clothing like that, or say that we can write in the script, but that we can replicate the building of the society and the maintaining of the society, and developing social systems that uh, keep the integrity of the group strong. That there's this social connection that we have, because of the value system that you find in ancient Egypt. And so, and what he was saying as well is that, what he knows from his own culture, and what Diop understood about his own, is that all of that is already there. It's existing there in Kemet. I mean, excuse me, in modern civilizations. It is just, we have to make the connection, and do it in a very principled and systematic way. So that's why he's saying that everyone needs to first, understand and learn how to read and write in the various different Meta Nature scripts, so that you can access without interruption the particular text, which gives you some insight into these matters. And so that's the takeaway, or at least one of the takeaways that I'm getting from this particular conversation here. He has not come back yet, so hopefully his phone is charged, or I don't know what's going on, and so maybe he will come back. But we got a good hour out of our brother, so if he doesn't come back in a few minutes, then I will just end the program on that note. And of course, I will invite him back, and we can, maybe go through, an introductory Meta Nature lesson. And so we can get this from the African, point of view, the African worldview when we study. And so I showed a picture of this kind of earlier. This is one of his students, or two of his students to be exact. And you can see them doing it, in the classical way, old school chalkboard. And, they're writing out and learning the Meta Nature, raw and uncut. And this is what you got to do. So we should be going into people's homes and seeing practice examples of the Meta Nature just like this. And so, it's doing a lot of good work. And, hopefully we can get access to that book that he mentioned. So I think he's probably going to go through Dr. Sakana and Carnic House Press. But if not, I'll be more than happy to publish that introductory grammar in with the Mado Mandela Press. And again, this is his institute, which is the the African Institute of Egyptology and Kemetic Studies. And so they are the French The Francophone schools of African, Egyptologists, they are on it. Those people are, learning and in the communities teaching and building up an entire new generation of scholars, and that's something that I want to do here in the United States, and which is one of the reasons for the creation of the Martin Delaney Center for Egyptology. So I will be giving my viewers more information upon that in the near future. But it doesn't look like he is coming back. So I regretfully will end the show. But, again, please like this program, share it with friends and colleagues. And if you are a new viewer, please don't even consider, just do it. Just subscribe and get a boost of all that good content that we have on the program, as well as pick up Aluja Volume 2, China into Religion and Philosophy. You can get it discounted on my website at asarimhotep.com, as well as the Towards a Comparative Dictionary of Chicam and Modern African Languages. So both of these were released in 2020, and I will have another book out later on this year dealing with the etymology of Orisha and Maweja, one of the Chiluba names for God, and their connection to ancient Kemet. And this will be the first publication under the rubrics of the Martin Delaney Center for Egyptology. So we're going to have certain Egyptologically focused texts, published under that banner or whatnot, as well as an upcoming journal. And so it's a lot going on. So stay tuned for that. Again, here is my contact information. So you can hit me up at asarimhotep.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. And you can support the channel by joining us on our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/asarimhotep. Or you can make, individual donations directly through CashApp, or going to the asarimhotep.com page unto itself. So, he just hopped in. So I won't end just yet, but let me bring him back on.
So
there you go. How you doing, sir?
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was just wrapping up. I didn't know if he was coming back.
Yes, okay. So, do you have any question or what's
No. That was all the general questions that I had right now, and just wanted to invite you back. So maybe you can give us a brief lesson on the beginnings of a short lesson on reading Meta Nature in the future, hopefully, and we could talk about your books that you going to publish, so we could promote those. But I just wanted to ask you, like, if you had anything that you want to say to the audience, that we didn't cover, but that's on your heart to share with them concerning anything that we discussed or didn't discuss. The floor is yours.
I think we can't make some experiences. I don't know. We take 5 or 10 persons who want to learn that. by email every 1 or 2 times a week, 1 hour, 2 hours. We do something. We see if it's okay. Because now we don't need again to come back there. I can be here. I have my campus. I have anything. You have a book, and we try to know if you can masterize that. Why not? We try. If it's
Hmm.
okay, it's okay. If it's not, no problem. But five, 10%. How many person you want? We collect that to see if what I spoke was true. You can masterize that. That we do nature in
Hmm.
3 months. You see, well, uh, yes,
Indeed.
yeah. Problem is not. I tell you, the debate is finished now. Now is work. So you
Hmm.
organize that, the tempo of people. You in the beginning you have to choose the people who stay very strong or they can follow
Hmm.
that kind of work, and you see behind. And after we start, and
Hmm.
we say okay, we start that, and we see if after 3 months you can read and write that word. For me, I'm
Hmm.
sure for that because what I saw here is in Africa, people who they have not very in terms of academically, but they write that thing very easy because it's our culture.
Yeah.
That's all. It's our things, you know. And my method now is performant now. I know how to get that very fastly. I know how to do for that. And after that, when you finish, the people who you know they be also to learn. They go
Hmm.
to the Saturday black school. They go to you know they want to diffuse that. So
Hmm.
you can if you have to later to send me, you send me later in Medina.
Hmm.
Uh,
Exactly.
come back again. Don't somebody want to collect me. I'll come
Alrighty.
back again, please. Somebody want to collect me, so I don't know.
I see. I see. So he was receiving a call. It looks like, and so, but we at least we got him back, and y'all got those important words. So we're gonna come back and do a brief lesson for y'all so we can encourage y'all to learn this Meta Nature language. So with that said, hold on, let me come back. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. With that being said, I will see y'all next time. This is the Mbongi, and y'all have a blessed day. All right, peace.